No, nothing. Rip off!
$10 store items that are actually a ripoff. Chips and soda.
Potato chips.
Some items at dollar stores might get you a money-saving deal, but chips are not one of those items. In order to offer them to you at a reduced cost, the weight of the bag of chips found at a dollar store is almost always much smaller. Everyone has calculators on their phones these days, so if you do the math and compare the actual cost per ounce, you'll see that you would save a lot more money buying the chips at a grocery store. Soda is another item you will get completely ripped off on at the dollar store.
I'm getting a soda.
You will spend more on a single liter of soda than you would for a 2-liter bottle almost everywhere else. Now, why would you want to pay twice as much for items you're trying to save money on? If you are indeed a lover of soda, you would be better off recognizing the true lack of value. It's true, sometimes you get distracted by a cute tiny-sized can of soda, but you somehow forget your cost per ounce amount. But again, use those math skills and don't lose focus. Cereal. We keep hearing in the news that the cost of cereal is going to keep going up. And yet, we walk into the dollar store and magically, unbelievably, the cost of our favorite brands appear to be lower than those in the supermarket. The key word here is appear. Buying a box of cereal for $1 sounds like an amazing deal, but usually, if you're looking at your favorite name brand item on the shelf at the dollar store, the size of the box you're staring at is way smaller than the box you would get at your local supermarket. You are about to spend way more per ounce than you thought. It's easy to get fooled. Sometimes, however, you will see a generic brand of your favorite cereal, and you'll think to yourself, well, okay, I will buy the generic brand because it will taste the same and it truly will cost less.
He just saved me a lot of money.
However, the truth is, the generic brands that are at the dollar stores are usually there because they were a hard product to sell elsewhere. Usually the taste of a generic product is substandard compared to the brand name one. So you have a choice to get less cereal for your money in the smaller sized brand name box, or you can get a cereal you will not be able to bear eating once you get home. And then you'll have to go and buy the real one all over again after you've thrown the poor tasting one out. Dollar store burger equals dollar store taste.
I'd have a burger. Do you want a burger?
I could go for a burger, yeah.
Seriously, are you going to try and lower your grocery bill by daring to buy your burgers at a dollar store? Compromising your health, not to mention your taste buds, is just not worth it. There's a potential of the packaging itself to harm you. Some of the burgers from dollar stores are wrapped in plastic wrap, which may contain BPS and/or phthalates.
It's full of toxic chemicals.
These are both chemicals linked to not only male reproductive development problems, but to prostate cancer as well. It's just not worth it. When you imagine how the burgers at the dollar store may taste, your wishes are plainly not going to be fulfilled. Reviewers have noted that the burger patties were salty, odd-tasting, and crumbly. We know you hoped they might be the best deal ever discovered at the dollar store, but they are not juicy, they are not tasty, and after your first bite, you won't be inclined to continue with your meal. Not only that, but you've thrown your hard-earned money down the drain, and now you'll have to come up with more money to buy more food to make dinner all over again. Getting milked buying milk.
Milk.
You need to pick up milk on your way home and just don't want to bother having to stop at yet another store to pick it up. So along with some other items you just had to have from the dollar store, you toss in a carton of milk, thinking, how bad could this be? After all, it's just milk and it's cheap. Well, not so fast, mathematical Jedi. Let's do some math. Some of the cartons at the dollar store near San Francisco contain only 16 ounces. When you figure out how many ounces you are getting for what you thought was their cheaply priced milk, you are paying almost $8 per gallon.
Too much? Too much.
This costs you way more than had you gone into a very expensive grocery store and purchased the very best organic milk. Reports have warned against purchasing any kinds of perishable foods at dollar stores because their freshness may be compromised and their quality as well might be dubious. Cheese.
Cheese?
You think to yourself, how bad can a cheese at the dollar store be? It's cheese. It's cheap and you have it listed on your grocery list, so you reach out and toss some into your shopping cart. But did you bother to read the ingredients on the package? Sure, you noticed it looked like cheese, it felt like cheese, but if you'd read the ingredients, you'd have noticed that most likely, out of the first 8 ingredients listed on the package, none of them were dairy. Chances are the product is called something that reminds you of cheese, but is not actually labeled cheese.
It's fake.
Several reports online quote reviewers as calling out the so-called cheeses for tasting bad. They also mention the fact that the imposter is unable to melt. It has been noted that the cheese product actually sparks when people try to melt it. You don't want a burnt cheese product on your toast, nor as your pizza topping. The real stuff at the grocery store will suit your purposes better. And if you pay attention to prices and sales, you can often find cheese for reasonable prices. Sometimes you just can't beat the real stuff. Not so spicy spices.
We can put spices in that.
Spices are not cheap. The top-of-the-line ones can truly gouge your monthly grocery budget. So who would not be inclined to indulge in the dollar store offerings? You automatically feel like you're getting a deal. But if you take out your calculator or even a pencil and pad of paper, you will realize that you are in fact not getting a deal. To make up for those posted cheap prices, usually the amount of spice you're getting in the container of spice of your choice is way less than you would in regular grocery stores. But who says you have to buy all your spices at once? If you buy one spice at a grocery store when it's on sale, and you do this every few months, you will eventually build a stockpile that did not throw you out of your spending comfort zone.
I don't like going outside of my comfort zone.
Also, at your regular grocery store, you might find some spices which are not the top brand name, but taste just as fine. Then when those are on sale, buying them can really make you feel that you scored an amazing deal. Sometimes less is more, even just for a short time. And what's the point? Be patient with your spice collection and be smart with your money. Impulse be gone.
They're buying it. They're buying it.
No matter the store you're going in, you're standing in line and you're waiting your turn to pay. Well, the stores know that. What quells your irritation in waiting in a slow-moving line? Being able to shop for even more items while not losing your place in line. Does it get any better than that? It doesn't even matter what store you're at. It happens everywhere. At the hardware store, at the hairdresser, at the gas station, at the pharmacy, and at the dollar store. Many items are conveniently placed in these strategic locations near the cash to grab your attention.
If you want me, come and get me!
They distract you from the boredom of waiting to pay and keep you focused on purchasing more instead of looking at the items inside your basket and reevaluating whether or not you truly need them. Hence the packs of gum sitting and waiting to be chewed, and you think you're getting a good deal. Cheaper gum at the dollar store checkout. Well, it may be cheaper, but you are not getting any prized deal. The gum packages at the dollar store are usually smaller than the ones that you would purchase at the major grocery chains. The gum ends up costing you more per piece, and while it may not make a huge dent in your pocket, over time, these purchases do add up to you getting ripped off. Always do the math. On your face.
How do I look?
You're out of your favorite makeup and you notice a reasonable facsimile at the dollar store. How bad could it be, you think to yourself? Well, ask yourself what exactly is in that makeup. Read the package. Are there ingredients you may be allergic to? Has the product been approved by the higher-ups? You don't want to put inferior products on your skin only to end up with a severe reaction or a rash. You may have sensitive skin, and your skin may not tolerate the cheap ingredients in the lower-priced product. There may be alcohol of a harsher grade used in producing it. Where sunscreen is concerned, purchasing this at the dollar store is taking quite a risk, since SPF is known to degrade over time.
It's too risky. It's too risky.
It's even possible the sunscreen product at the dollar store has already expired. How long has it been sitting there? If it is of an inferior quality, the sunscreen's packaging might say 30 SPF, when indeed it's really only 15 SPF. Some items are simply not worth taking a risk on, no matter how much cheaper they may seem to be. When an innocent mistake can cost you big time in ways other than just dollars, think safety over thriftiness. Besides, you can always buy sunscreen at the pharmacy, and there are always name brands going on sale. One-stop shopping might seem to sometimes save you time, but time is not the only thing to consider. Always look for expiration dates anywhere you buy, especially anything you're going to apply to your skin, and always look at the ingredients list. Can the cans.
I have all the cans marked. A can in the morning and a can at night.
We have been brought up thinking that there's nothing wrong with canned goods. Those that are made carefully with the right materials are safe and they preserve food for long stretches of time. When you're in the dollar store with your grocery list and you're in front of a wall of cans stocked with just the items you need, how can it not be tempting to toss in those $1-a-can items? It seems like a smart thing to do, but grocery stores often sell canned goods for even less than $1. Sometimes there are even deals on multi-can purchases. You can end up spending more on your cans and defeating your whole purpose of saving.
What are savings?
if you familiarize yourself with flyers or notice the prices of your favorites while you're in a grocery store, you will not be ripped off when at a dollar store. And remember, it's not always about the price. If you get home with your 5 cans of asparagus and you think you've scored a great deal, imagine how you might feel if the asparagus inside is so mushy you can't even remove one stalk without having the entire contents turn into a puddle of green mush. Just saying. And to top things off, some of the dollar store canned goods can contain harmful chemicals. A report by the Center for Environmental Health found that even after the chemical bisphenol A, BPA, became widely known as one to stay away from, many lower grade cans still contain it. Heat protection, electronics, and oven mitts.
This is for my protection.
Many of the electronics found in dollar stores may be lacking a UL label, according to Consumer Reports. The Underwriters Laboratories is one of the best-known safety certification companies in the United States. Sometimes there may be counterfeit labels on the electronics products, and when you see them, you automatically assume that the items are indeed safe. But you are smarter than that. If it's in a dollar store, chances are that the quality of the item is inferior to those at legit hardware stores. A power bar could be made with thinner wires, for example, which will not be able to tolerate the power loads you attempt to run through it. Also, with inferior brands, they often utilize different parts from different companies. Often, they are not reliable, nor are they safe.
They are dangerous and unreliable.
Just because your cousin managed to get something worthy, the one you chose off the shelf could be the many lemons of the bunch. And then you will need to pour out more money to buy a higher quality one from somewhere better. Of all the potential hazards in trying to save a buck, the electronics arena is the worst. This is not the place to skimp. This could be a dangerous choice to make when at a dollar store. Next, really examine the cute and colorful oven mitts you're thinking about buying at the dollar store. Who doesn't love a fresh pair of mitts, especially when the pair at home is rampant with cookie dough and meatloaf runovers? Well, the ones in the dollar store will do you more harm than good. In fact, with this item, you may literally get burned. Study the item. Usually, the oven mitts in dollar stores are a bit skimpier. They do not have enough padding to protect your hands and fingers against the scorching baking dishes you pull out of your oven or the heated cookware on your stove. Refrain from this inferior oven mitt danger.